I'm Dr. Sharon Koschenbach. I'm a veterinarian and I work in a small animal hospital in Carroll County. I've been practicing for 25 years and into trap, neuter, release, which I'm here to speak on today, or TNR. I have been practicing for 25 years, 10 years really heavy into TNR programs. I work for BARCS and Maryland SPCA in the city, as well as doing low-cost spay-neuter at our own practice, including TNR. I have had training in low-cost spay-neuter from the Humane Alliance and TNR training through Our Cat Allies, both of which are national organizations. Our goal is to help with cat overpopulation. It will take multiple programs to solve this problem. TNR is just one of those. And it's focused on 3 areas. One is the individual cat. So you have an individual cat that shows up on somebody's porch. Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. Soon there's a litter of kittens under the porch, and they give away those kittens to their friends and neighbors, which just continue to populate, and they continue to give away the kittens. The other targets the larger colonies that are already established and are taken care of by committed feeders, and they help control that population, as well as identify them as already having been sterilized with an ear tick. These cats are also vaccinated, giving flea and tick control, so the third population is the individual cat that has a little bit better life being sterilized and a little bit better health for as long as they're able to be out there. Even though we may not be totally solving cat overpopulation, we are also making a difference in the individual lives as well. I've spoken at other organizations in reference to feral cats and are aware of some of the public concerns. People say we'll get them homes. They don't want homes. There are already plenty of tame cats out there who need homes. There aren't enough homes for all these cats, and very often they don't want to be pets. The hunting issue with cats, but by feeding and sterilizing them, they hunt less and they roam less, so they stay more to their individual colonies. And there's more cooperation with people who want to do the TNR as opposed to want a cat to trap and kill them. As long as there are less than responsible cat owners, there will be feral cats. That's where they come from. People abandoning their cats who are unspayed and unneutered, and they just continue their populating. So that's why we promote the low-cost spay-neuters to keep it, at least if the cats are abandoned, if they are not reproducing. If we don't get the cat reproducing under control, we're left with just rescuing. And you can rescue forever, and the number of cats that need to be rescued before just never ends. Thank you.
Volunteering.
As a lifelong resident of Baltimore County and the Secretary for Reform Baltimore County Animal Services, I am very familiar with the problems with plaguing BCAS. As a proactive, concerned citizen, over the years I have repeatedly attempted to address these issues and have twice requested information under the Maryland Public Information Act. Neither of these requests produced satisfactory results from the county as they left my questions unanswered. My April 2011 MPIA request sent to Dr. Branch's office resulted in a reply informing me that my request carried a minimum of a $2,000 price tag to process. While I was certain this was nothing more than an obstructive measure to dissuade my inquiry, at the time, 3.5 years ago, I did not know I had legal recourse. So Dr. Branch's response had the desired effect and I gave up, disgusted and discouraged by my county government. I next submitted a request for documents under the Maryland Public Information Act to Dr. Branch's office on March 20th, 2014. I asked him to provide me with 5 things. 1, records relating to the number of animals collected and disposed of. 2, any letters received from the public. 3, all documents reflecting any internal or third-party review or study of the operations and conditions, all documents that evidence the maintenance of a volunteer program, and all documents that establish compliance with Baltimore County Council Bill number 68-13, requiring BCAS to provide fresh food and water, clean and sanitary facilities, and environmental enrichment and appropriate veterinary care. 2 months later, on June 20th, I received a response. Again, Dr. Branch's office produced unsatisfactory results. In his official response, which he noted as the county's complete response, Dr. Branch informed me that there were no records for most of my questions. The documents I requested should typically be kept in the normal course of business operations at RBCAS or any animal shelter. I then wrote to Attorney Michael Fields, asking him to confer with Dr. Branch as to the existence of any documents. Mr. Fields' response was nothing short of chastising, arrogant, and downright rude. He criticized me for complaining, stated my request demanded too much, and he gave me the excuse that the requested information is hard for the county to retrieve because it was stored on paper rather than a computer and kept in the basement of a building at the shelter. He said many of my questions were unreasonably broad and ultimately undefinable. As to a third-party review, Mr. Fields admitted there is no record. As a tax-paying citizen, I find both the treatment I received and the unsatisfactory results of my inquiries troubling. Both Dr. Branch and Mr. Fields' response are indicative of a systemic failure of government in Baltimore County, my home. Either the county refused to fully answer my MPIA request, violating state and federal law, or the county is seriously lacking in competent administrative and oversight processes relative to BCAS.
Thank you.
Considering volunteering at Baltimore County Animal Shelter for a few months, and I finally got online and sent an email to Charlotte Cranston early in August 2014. My company volunteers annually at various nonprofits, etc., and I knew Charlotte from previous years when my company had volunteered there. Charlotte responded on August 6th, explained her new position at the shelter, and attached 3 forms for me to complete to get started. So that the forms, resubmitted them to her the next day. She said she'd let me know as soon as possible, as soon as she gets a date for the next orientation, and she welcomed me. 9/14, I emailed to check in to see when I could start. It had already been 4 weeks since I submitted. Within a few days, orientation was finally set up for 9/17 between 5 and 6 p.m. I was not told where orientation was to be held, so I drove to Manor Road from Towson. The front desk told me orientation was on York Road across from Channel 2 News. I arrived late to the orientation. There were 4 of us there. 2 of us had driven to Manor Road due to poor miscommunication. Charlotte apologized. 2 weeks go by and I haven't received the sign-up sheet for volunteering. I emailed Charlotte on 9/26 asking when the volunteer schedule would be posted so I could start. She said she still needed to get clarification from Laura on what to do between now and the dog walking class. So I still had to take this class on how to walk a dog. I thought I knew how to walk a dog. The bottom line is that it's been almost 3 months from the time I signed up to volunteer. I'm no closer to seeing, touching, or interacting with any animals than I was 3 months ago. The shelter volunteer hours are so limited that I'm not even sure that I'm going to be effective at volunteering or bonding with any of the animals. The hours are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 3 to 5, and Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 2. These hours make absolutely no sense. I was hoping that volunteer hours would be extended so I could drive after work. I work in Towson. My work hours are 8:30 to 5, Monday to Friday. Otherwise, I would have no other options except Saturday. It takes me about 45 minutes from home to get to Manor Road. It's extremely disheartening and sad that I'm willing and able to help, but the hours are so limited, and I'm volunteering my time. You'd think that whoever's making decisions would embrace the volunteer people. My overall impression of the management is poor communication, poor organization. People who are previously signed up are allowed to come and go, and I'm still waiting for the okay to get volunteer time. So I'm here today to let you know what I've been through and make you aware of it. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Jennifer Kahn. I'm a volunteer at the Feline Rescue Association. I'm here to talk about Baltimore County Animal Shelter. A couple of weeks ago, went to try to pull some cats from there. They said that they were very full. They were putting down mamas and babies, and they just needed help getting cats out so that the whole process of rescue could continue. I went to go pull 2 litters and 2 mamas. I was given 1 litter and 2 mamas. Asked where was the other litter. The whole thinking was they were so overcrowded, so filled, they needed every cat that they could out so that they could, not put cats down. And instead, I would take them into the rescue program and just help to coordinate cats out that way. After being there for about 45 minutes, I was only given the 2 mamas and 1 litter. I then left after asking several people who had no idea what was going on, who I was there to get. Miscommunication, everything was just totally disorganized. I left. The next day I was told I was supposed to get the other litter. I live in Cockeysville. I had actually come from an adoption event in Owens Mills to pick up the cats, and the next day was told I was supposed to grab the other litter as well. If I had only known when I was there, I could have grabbed everybody at once. It would have been much easier, but instead I had to coordinate with another volunteer to transport the cats to me, which at that time was only 2 kittens instead of the original 5 kittens. I guess during that day they had a lot of adoptions, but other lives of kittens could have been saved if they would have been coordinating things better and communication was better there. Just kind of wanted to tell you guys about my experience. Thank you.
Thank you.